Back again once in the studio live. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am the one and only Teej, and you are listening to Bearcast, coming to you live from the Jack and Jones Strategy Studio, part of the Electronic Media Division at CCM. How's everyone doing out there? As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit wired on caffeine, and it's feeling great. Thanks for asking. And we are about to kick off another wonderful, wonderful evening of hilarity, as well as bizarreness, and at times, a little bit of creepiness. And if you're about as excited as I am, then it's definitely going to be a good evening. I want to start this show by apologizing for last week and all the technical difficulties that happened. I have taken proper precautions to sort of avoid those kind of tendencies this show, but you know how it is and that sort of thing. And of course, although my producer Terry is actually in the studio with me once again, he doesn't usually provide too much help, so I'm kind of left up to hold down the fort, as they say. So that's always exciting, that's always fun, and okay, well, we might as well just get into what happened last week and everything, just a little bit. We can't go into too much detail, because I know he's still out there. I haven't seen Terry in person since our little mishap in the studio last week, and things have been, there's some really, really high tensions, and I don't really want to say too much more to that. We got in a bit of a fight, and some things were said, some, not fists, he threw me across the room, whatever, you know, that sort of thing. So, he's in the booth right now, I know that much. I can't make out him, though, you know, like, there's a bit of a silhouette in there, and he's just sitting in the dark, and most likely eyeing me right now, and it's really kind of ominous. Kind of creepy. It doesn't make me feel that comfortable, I'll be honest with you. Makes me a little bit on edge, that sort of thing, which doesn't necessarily make for good radio. So why he's doing this, other than his lack of professionality and, you know, just being Terry, I really don't know. Really kind of freaking me out, man. Could you say something at least? Like, we haven't talked in a while. I even had to go to the studio earlier today, and he wasn't even there to, you know, help out in that sort of sense. It's been a little bit strange, that sort of thing. So, again, do want to apologize for the technical mishaps last week. Hopefully, we've rectified those. I'm still trying to use the old auxiliary cord, which, we'll see how that goes. I haven't tried it in the queue yet or anything like that, so we're going to have to probably do that next musical break. If not, we've taken other measures that are hopefully going to smooth things out and everything. Because again, this is what all this is about, is just making a smooth, wonderful show to kick off your weekend, that sort of sense right there. And I think that we're going to do that well. We're going to have some fun with it. And that's the most important thing. Because right now, I've been taking a survey of all you out there, especially around campus, that sort of sense. And it seems like everyone is stressed out beyond belief. They all hate each other. They're like, why are we continuing this mundane atmosphere? And I call that sort of like the spring break blues, because unlike some people, I don't really go anywhere on spring break or anything like that. I just work more. And so I don't know. I can't relax in that atmosphere, that sort of sense. You know what I mean? I mean, the fact that, you know, oh yeah, we're going off, you know, away from classes in that sort of sense for a little bit, but all your work is still piled up on you. Like, it doesn't really go away. I don't know if maybe you're able to ignore that and that sort of bit right there. Well, that's great. Fantastic for you. I think most of us, though, we all just feel that weight there, and we're like, yeah, I get to have fun for a week. It's gonna be horrible afterwards. And so it's not even worth, like, taking the time to go out and do something. It's more like, let's just get the work done and be done with it, you know? That'd be wonderful. That'd be great. And you know, everyone's just fed up with it all. They're just fed up, and it really, really, really makes me miss the quarter system, actually. You know, I don't know if you were even around during when, you know, America had the quarter system, you know, for college students, that sort of sense. But it was great because you had your winter classes, then you had spring break, and then you came back, and it was a whole new set of classes. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the wonderful feeling that it was to show up, or at least to leave your classes behind? No, you didn't have to directly pick that exact topic back up afterwards. And there wasn't like this horrible final that was to follow on that material that you were supposedly allowed to have a break from. It really does. It makes me miss quarters. And I only had it for about a couple of... Like, I was only in the quarter system for about a year. And I thought it was great and wonderful. And I really liked the fact that we got like this huge long break during Christmas. I'm really not sure why we switched to semesters other than, like, we were bullied into it or something like that. It was like, well, the cool colleges, they're doing the semester system. We might as well, too. You know, that sort of sense right there. I don't know why colleges sound like that, but they totally do. Seriously. No, it's just one of those things on where I think that there's a lot more stress created around this, and that's what I'm looking to alleviate more than anything else. That's what everyone's experiencing right now. It's that, oh my god, we got 2 weeks of classes left, and all of a sudden we gotta come up with some sort of final project or, study for finals, and then it's gonna be crazy. So we're all trying to get through this right now. We're all trying to get through it, but we're so done. We're just wanting to give up. We're throwing our hands up in the air. We're just like, I can't take it anymore. And hopefully we don't have an issue of, people just acting manic in that sort of sense, and we're able to just, keep our heads down and work through this. But, the spontaneity of the subconscious is quite a marvel and a mystery. And it's capable of some crazy, crazy things. And I know you crazy kids out there know exactly what I'm talking about. And it would be really helpful if you could clue me in, because I have no idea. No, it's called the grind. It's called, just trying to get through life, because these are some of the experiences that you're forced to endure. It's not particularly fun, it's not particularly great, but we have to get through this, and in the end, they say it builds character within us all. I'm not sure if that's blind optimism or, that actual practical breakdown of the situation. Oh no, we'll find out, right? We'll find out together. I know that I got several projects coming up, and one in particular being the Victory of Light Expo this weekend. Yes, I'm going to have to plug that as much as I can right there. Come visit me! Yeah, doing an expo up in Sharonville at the Sharonville Convention Center. I will be doing announcements there for the various free seminars that will be available there. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday up at the Sharonville Convention Center. You can find a whole bunch of psychic readers there, as well as healers and vendors, and you can learn a whole bunch of interesting things from the free seminars. And can I just, emphasize the fact that this is a lot of unique opportunities and a unique portion of our population gathering together for this positive event right there, which is something beautiful. And if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, or astrology, or, the powers of crystals and that sort of thing, that's absolutely fine. But I think more than anything else, to go and sort of witness this as an anthropological experiment is worth it enough to you, I would imagine. Simply because these are things that you've probably never heard of before. Whether you believe it or not, I think it's great to have some sort of insight, some sort of perspective. I'm not a Christian, but I've read parts of the Bible at least. And the Quran and the Torah, Just get that whole perspective right there. You gotta figure out what's going on in the world before you make a judgment on it, I figure. And, ultimately, we're never going to be truly enlightened to pass judgments of that degree on anyone, so why do we even bother? Just calm down, people. Seriously, we're taking this all way too seriously, and it's not that fun. So tensions are high, I don't know. I don't know how people hold on to that kind of stress right there. It kind of just wakes me out. It makes me want to scream. And I'll be honest with you, I definitely feel that throughout the week. I definitely feel that through the grind and all, and it just tears me apart. And I'm figuring, what can I do to stop that? What can I do to sort of get through that? And Exercise has always been a good alternative for me, at least, to, go out and just release some stress, release some steam, that's always good and well. But I'm knowing I'm going to just need to take a vacation at the end of all of this. And that I do intend on sticking around this summer and sticking around with you here on Bearcast throughout the summer. Ideally, I don't know what's truly in store. I would love to take a trip, but I definitely need to go somewhere as soon as classes let up. You know what I mean? Just take a break from it all, a break from the city, go out there. And I was trying to brainstorm something of that earlier today. And I was thinking, I haven't gone whitewater rafting in a couple of years. Have you ever been whitewater rafting? It is so much fun. I highly recommend doing it. It is a blast. And one of my favorite parts about it is when you have to sign that waiver at the beginning that says, you're not going to sue us if you die on this event. That, to me, is great. Because everything's about liabilities anymore, but more than anything else, I just signed a paper that said I might die. Let's see what happens. Isn't that exciting? Right? No, honestly, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it really isn't that dangerous whatsoever. You just got to be a little bit intelligent and not particularly know what you're doing, because there are guides there, but don't have your head up your ass. I think that's a really, really, really good way to deal with life in general, actually. If you could have some sort of mantra for yourself or your life in its entirety right there, it's don't put your head up your ass. And it's... okay, hold on. I almost went down a really dark tangent there. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all. No, but I think that would sound really, really cool. And I'd love to, make it out to Colorado sometime, do the skiing and the, whitewater rafting there. But West Virginia is not that far away, Cincinnati. I'm just saying. A couple of people want to go. Message me on the Facebook. I am the Teej. That's TWJ on the Facebook. We're not spelling the. Check me out. Message me. I'd love to get in touch with you. Hell, we can go whitewater rafting if you're into that kind of thing. I'm totally doing that now. It's totally going to be a thing. I don't know. You can make a weekend trip out of that for about, like, what, $300-400 or something like that. There's more people that go along. It's a lot easier. Probably camp, too, or, just, like, find yourself a hill or something and just roll out a sleeping bag. That's the way to do it. That's the way to go. All right, one little anecdote before we go back to some music. I did want to mention this. I know I spoke during spring break thinking that I could make it out to Hocking Hills, and I still definitely want to do that because I've never been out there before. But I definitely had the wrong mentality as to going out there because I thought it was really just a forest. And it's more like a campground activity place, I guess. Like, it's still, like, a pretty good forest and that sort of thing, but I mean, I was thinking about, like, supplies. Like, take this, for instance. I was thinking about supplies to take on this trip, to go to Hocking Hills and stay there for a couple of days, and I'm thinking sleeping bag, pillow. I don't really need a tent, because, I can just sleep outside. That's not a big deal. And, of course, I'm going to need a shovel in case I have to use the restroom. Wait a second. Oh, hold on. They have campgrounds with, like, restrooms with plumbing? Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, why did I jump to that conclusion right there? It's one of those weird moments, you know what I mean, right there? I'm not even a big camper. I just happened to, do a lot of camping last summer. I pretty much just lived in a tent, so, I was just like, I can do that. That's no problem. Just whatever. That's not a big deal to me whatsoever. But, yeah, I imagine that would be frowned upon there at Hocking Hills, and so, definitely don't want to do that. Don't want to get on anyone's nerves, and don't want to spoil someone's experience by not digging a deep enough hole, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, boy. No, but it does sound like a lot of fun out there. And if you've been out there, please, once again, just message me. Tell me what it's like, that sort of thing. If there's anything that I need to be doing while I'm out there as well. Yeah. I like this open dialogue idea, though. Certainly. Because, it gets rather boorish when it's just me mucking about, yelling things across to you, and trying to create a dialogue with Terry, but it's just not happening. Oh, boy. So, gonna have this track from Chumbawamba coming up to you. It's not Tub Thumping, okay? They have other songs. They've been around for a while, actually. This is off the Tub Thumping CD, though. Really cool. It's Outsider.